Okay guys, hi, this is question 58. So question 58, so I'll just go to the original question, looks at this idea of specified order of closure. So there are a number of methods for splitting overheads. There's the direct apportioning, there's the repeated distribution, there is the algebraic method, but this is the simplest and fastest method of doing this. And ultimately what we're trying to do is to get rid of the overheads quickly, but because we have these supporting departments, we have to find a system of doing it pretty quickly. So we sort of deal with one, eliminate it, and then deal with the other. That's what we're dealing with here. But it's slightly interesting in terms of just watching how we do it. So let's do the question. Let's do the question so we can see what's going on here. So if you look in the question, it tells us that we have HR and we have finance. And the key point is the problem here is they both service each other. So the first question is, who do we get rid of first? You can see here it says that, well, finance, these are the amounts, a number of transactions processed in finance. This is the number of people in HR. So we have the basis, so to speak. So in order to know who to deal with first, we take the larger one. Now, what does that mean by the larger one? So let's look at finance. Finance uses, so in order to the first step here is that when we're looking at finance's use of HR, because that's the question here, we want, when I say the larger one, who uses who more in terms of HR and finance? How much does finance use of HR and how much does HR use of finance? So let's look at this first. In terms of understanding how much we would allocate to finance in terms of the HR wage, that's what we want to allocate first. We sort of say, okay, we have 8. What's the total here? So the first thing we need to do is to sort of work out, because in order to work out how we're going to eliminate this, we sort of eliminate, we don't include the HR when we're trying to analyze HR, if that makes any sense. We don't include it, we ignore it. That's the first step. So we just say, okay, if we wanted to split this 180, right, between everyone else, let's ignore this 5. Let's just deal with, because that's the whole idea here. It's a quick method. So I'm just going to say, well, 8 plus 12 plus 10 plus 20, and that's 50. So I'm just going to find out, first of all, what's 8 over 50 times 180,000. That's the first step. And that comes to 28,800. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same. When I want to just sort of see, okay, if I'm going to split finance, I can't include, I'm going to ignore the finance actual number. I'm just going to split it with HR, E, M, and 0. And then I'm just going to see, well, what is that? That's 400 over, when they add all these together, 400, 1,100, 800, 1,700, you get 4,000. And I'm just going to multiply that by 240,000, and I get 24,000. So this is larger than this. So because this is larger than this, I'm going to split HR first, right? Because that's the order in which we do it. We do it in the order of which allocation, just between the two guys, first, the people who are overlapping, is largest. So we're going to split HR first. That's the first thing we need to do. I really doubt if you did it the other way it'd come out that different, but the way we do it is to deal with the larger one first. So not the larger one from this point of view, but the larger one based on the allocation. Okay, now let me clean my slide and then just do that, and you'll see pretty much it's that straightforward. So if I split this first, that's my main aim. I want to get rid of this 180, and I'm literally just going to like I said earlier on, this is 8 in terms of percentages. This is 10 over 50, 20 over 50. I'm literally going to split this based on this sort of on this kind of ratio here, and here I will have 28,800, 12 over 50, 12 divided by 50, and I will have here, I will have here 43,200. Here I will have 10 divided by 50 times 180,000. Here I will have 36,000 1,000, and here I will have 20 divided by 50, and here I will have 72,000. So now this is gone. This is the thing here. This is what we're saying. It's gone. There's no discussion anymore. It's done. Then I now add, well, now I need to get rid of finance, which is all of this together. So this is, if I add all this together, I get 268,800. So now I need to literally split this. And so they're telling us literally now just focus on using these. So you totally ignore all of this altogether. You ignore, it's gone completely. So therefore, if I'm splitting this based on the ratio of these things, literally this question is asking about maternity. So literally, now my new ratios are 1100 over this plus this plus this, which is 3,600, 800 over 3,600, and 1,700 over 3,600. This question in particular just asked me to focus on maternity, so I'm just going to focus on maternity, which is 800 divided by 3,600 times 268,800, and I get 59,733.3. Oops, 0.3. And when I add these together, I get 95,733.3. So this is actually how to deal with it. So I'll just walk through that again so you can see exactly what I've done. You will have two overheads for your supporting departments. The question is, which one do we deal with first? Well, we need to understand or find out which one is actually larger. So I will, but in addition to this, what I also have to make sure I do is that I always have to, dismiss. Yes, I always have to deal with this from the point of view of ignoring. I can't, otherwise I'll be in the other method called repeated distribution. I don't want to repeat myself over, so I just ignore, when I'm dealing with one, I just ignore what the base is of the other. So for example, when I want to know how when I want to split HR, I don't bring in the HR figure, I just ignore HR. I just say, well, let me split it between the other four. When I want to split finance, I just say, let me split it between, ignoring the finance base, let me just split it between the other four. So I just ignore its base. Because if I included its base, I'll be doing the other method, which is called repeated distribution, which is longer, as you can imagine, because I'd keep including something in finance and having to get rid of it. But now I just eliminate it altogether. And in this case, well, I simply say, well, how much is finance? Well, finance would have been 8 out of 50, which gave me 28 this. And if I was going to do how much is HR's element of the finance cost, I'll be saying 400 divided by 400 plus this and this and this, which was 400 over 4,000, which gave us 24,000, if you remember. So that's how I then thought, okay, no. Oh, well, my bigger one is 28,800. So since the bigger one is 28,800, I'm going to split that. That's what I'm going to do first. And that's what we do. So that's how we deal with this one. And if you look at your answer comes out at B. Question 58 is B. I'm going to do there's another question that looks exactly like this, so I'm going to do that as well in the next video. In the next questions that come up. So we'll get a chance to work this again. Okay, great stuff. See you in the next video.